Welcome back, my friends. Skirt.
What's up there, guys? Just some ordinary dude here, and today I'm joined by Alana. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
And today we're going to discuss something that I'm sure most of you have noticed recently. The Loud House is having its episodes released in a very unorderly manner. Now, here's the thing. As of August 2025, which is, of course, when we're recording this, the Loud House has started season 10. We've just had this little arc based in Camp Mastodon that started up. It's kind of interesting because the ticked off episode was like the finale of season 8, and then the rest of the arc carried on. The finale of season 9, sorry, and the rest of the arc carried on into the beginning of season 10. What's kind of interesting about this is that most of season 9 hasn't even released yet. So for me personally, it wasn't that long ago that it was like the beginning of this year when I got all the episodes up until The Gloat released, and then about another month or two ago I saw Kangaroos and The Walking Dead, and then I haven't really seen anything since. So for pretty much everyone, season 9 we've seen up until episode 7B at best, and there are multiple other episodes that haven't been released yet, like Stage Combat, Swimming Pools, Hammerlot, Gags to Riches, Writer's Retreat. You know, there's several episodes that haven't even been released yet from season 9, and yet we're already getting season 10.
Yeah, that's very weird. And what's even weirder is in the United States, we haven't seen any of season 9 except the finale. So it's just really strange.
Yeah, it's very odd. And then, I don't think we've seen any of season 9 officially in the UK, or very few episodes. I mean, I've seen all these episodes via links that people have sent to me, so yeah, I probably shouldn't be admitting that, but whatever. But yeah, most of season 9, if not any of it, has actually been released officially in most parts of the world, which is just strange. And what makes it even weirder, I think there are parts of the world that are still waiting for the European road trip arc in season 8.
Oh man, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I think there's parts of the world that are still they still keep saying, I haven't even seen the Europe road trip arc yet, and it's like, that was season 8 now, and we're already starting season 10, so I have no idea what's going on there. Yeah.
That is insane, actually.
Yeah, when you actually think about it, or maybe that's just people who haven't bothered to watch it, it's a bit strange. But either way, what you can point out from all this is that, obviously episodes are being released way out of order. I mean, we've got to remember that episodes, they probably take over a year to make, between the writing process, the directing, the animating, the artwork, all the, combination of the two, and all the changes they got to make to fit within an 11-minute time slot or a 22-minute time slot. There's a lot to do when it comes to making an episode. Somebody leaked some season 7 scripts, I think, not too long ago, and I did briefly look through a few of them, and some of them have multiple drafts to do with changes to the animatics and the storyboarding and all that. So there's a lot of back and forth, I think, that goes on in the making of these episodes of the show. So there's a lot that goes towards making him. So I suppose there was always going to be this risk that episodes weren't always going to release in perfect order. But even with that in mind, this is weird.
I've never seen anything like this, as long as the show's been airing.
I've heard that some other shows have done stuff like this. Like, this isn't like an unknown thing, but it's weird. Like, the Loud House has never really done this before. Like, there have been episodes that have released slightly out of order with each other, but not like to the extent of like entire seasons.
Yeah, never.
So I have no idea what's going on with all this. I do sadly suspect that, you know, there's some really bad stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, with the state of Nickelodeon and all that right now, I do get the feeling that, I don't know, maybe the show's coming to an end. Nobody's sure what to do with it, and it's possible that, I don't know, they're probably just trying to sort of slowly kill off the show. It wouldn't surprise me that much.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of can see that, but at the same time, it just seems weird because like, if they wanted to kill off the show, like, wouldn't they just release the episodes out faster? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. With Nickelodeon, we've said it for years. They don't really know what they're doing. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Has Nickelodeon ever really known what it's doing when it comes to this show and like how to like best promote it and market it and like air it? I'm not entirely sure it has. It didn't know what it was doing with the show. It was always a bit of a crying shame, to be honest. But yeah, it's just so strange, isn't it? Like, yeah, I've seen from season 9 all the way up until The Walking Dead, which is, like, I think, just over halfway. Yeah, when I look at season 9 now, it has basically 13 episodes, or, well, almost 26 segments, because I think there's one 22-minute special which is ticked off, which is the one we've seen, and then the rest are all 11-minute episodes. So it's basically got 13 episodes and 25 individual segments, 25 individual stories, and of those, obviously we've seen ticked off, and then I've seen another 14 of them, which still leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could count 10 episodes of the show that I don't think anyone has seen yet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And as you've pointed out, there are some people who haven't even seen the entirety of season 9 other than the finale, which is just fucking weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're not just releasing the episodes. I have no idea.
I just feel like Nickelodeon doesn't like care anymore. It seems like they're just like, oh, we'll just release whatever at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's no secret that when the show first came out, it was hyped up to hell. Everyone believed it would surpass The Sponge as Nickelodeon's biggest cartoon. Sadly, that never came to pass. I don't think anyone even really tried to make the show like fulfill its ultimate potential. Like, there's no advertising for this show. There's next to no merch. Yeah, there's a comic book series and the odd other little thing, but you know, there's not a lot of extra merchandise for this show. You know, there was a cancelled toy line that didn't go anywhere. There's a little bit of like clothing out there, but you know, they don't try, do they? They don't really like push the envelope. You know, like if I were in charge of this franchise, I'd come up with shit tons of ideas to say, come on, get on with them. But you know, they're not making the effort. And now it's clear, I think even the staff are sort of like getting a bit exhausted, because you can tell most of them are sort of moving on to other things. First you had the older staff, they moved on to Primos at Disney Channel, and then you have you know, people like Kyle Marshall moving on to Wild Pack. You've got like staff members who have been on the show for years are moving on to other somewhat similar projects actually, but you can sort of get the feeling like they're just exhausted, and I don't think they particularly want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Which, like, makes sense, because it's been on for, like, a long time.
Yeah. And yet, the show, after, 9, 10 seasons, I still think it's only just scratched the surface of its potential.
Oh, yeah, like, there's so much more they can do, because
yeah.
I feel like the world is so big that they've created that, like, I just feel like there's so much.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff they do come up with isn't particularly interesting, like one of the season 10 synopsis. I mean, everyone's going crazy about the possibility of Dr. Lopez possibly appearing after all these years, but outside of that, Does the episode Clyde Can't Decide sound particularly interesting? I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
just Lincoln and Clyde aren't the most interesting duo, are they? Let's face it. Like,
No.
like if you want Lincoln and Clyde done right, I mean, you have Ronnie Ann and Sid, or a better comparison than that, Gumball and Darwin from The Amazing World of Gumball. They're like a perfect version of those two.
Oh, I've never seen it, but
Well, I mean, you know, I won't mention him by name because he doesn't like that. But our friend, you know, he's recently got into The Amazing World of Gumball. It's like his new favourite show.
oh yeah.
So I told him for years to watch it, and he kept saying, "Nah, nah, I'm not bothered. I'll get round to it." And then he finally watched it on his own accord after so long, and he fell in love with it. And I was like, "See, told you. Should listen to me more often."
Maybe I'll give it a watch. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a funny show. I think it's very sort of meta with like its sense of humour. Like it just mocks like stereotypical fictional like writing tropes and character tropes and stuff like that, and storytelling ideas. Yeah, it's like there's, for example, there's one episode where you know, the dad that's in it, Richard Waterson. He never works. The whole idea, the running gag is he's always sitting at home, goofing off, being lazy. He never has a job. And in one episode, he finally gets a job, and because the order of the universe is that he's not supposed to have a job, it starts being destroyed until he gets fired.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, like that's the kind of direction it goes in. It's like you imagine a regular show where it takes a mundane premise, goes completely absurd with it, and then things just revert back to normal at the end. It's like that but on steroids.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's pretty funny.
and also, have you ever watched the show Pee Wee's Playhouse, where everything talks? Yeah, everything is sentient in The Amazing World of Gumball. Like, the road is sentient. A random like lamppost can be sentient. You know,
Oh wow.
a piece of bread can be. Well, there is actually a piece of bread character. There's a banana character. There's a potato character. There's a dinosaur. There's multiple dinosaur characters. There's obviously the main family consists of 2 cats, 2 rabbits, and a walking goldfish. Yeah, and there's a ghost, and there's a floating cloud, a peanut that's actually like a transforming thing in there. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it is it's an insane show, but in a good way. It's very like clever in how it's written, and just how the show works. But anyway, we're going on a tangent again.
Oh yeah.
We always do. Don't worry. But yeah, it's like going back to the whole thing about Loud House. It's like, I don't know. It does feel like the show's starting to fall apart behind the scenes, and I hate saying that because I'm a fan and I want the best for it. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? What do you think? Why do you think this might be happening, Alana? Have you got any like more in-depth ideas? Have you thought about it, or?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I just don't think Nickelodeon really cares anymore. I don't know. I just feel like they just are just like, okay, let's just release whatever episodes at this point.
Yeah.
And they're not like really looking at like the like production order or anything. And they're just kind of releasing it all willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, they probably thought that all people like it when the show does little like multiple episode arcs. Oh, there's one at the beginning of season 10. Let's just release that straight away. That could be what they're doing there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird.
Yeah, and there's even like with some of the people working on the show, like some of the episodes. Well, there's always been an issue with like repeated episode ideas. Like for example, in season 2, you had Frog Wild. In season 3, you had Scales of Justice, which was somewhat similar. You know, and then you had, well, a better example would be Brawl and the Family and Room of a Feud. Room of a Feud actually being an improvement on Brawl and the Family, of course. And then also you had Bizarratorium, which kind of was a better example of no such luck, a better version of that. But the point is, like, you've had plenty of episodes like where they've repeated ideas, but they're really like doubling down on that now. Like, for example, there is an episode that I am looking forward to from the end of season 9 called Stage Combat, purely because it's the first actual Luna and Luan episode in the entire show, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
But
True.
it is, the synopsis is Luna and Luan get competitive when they find out they're competing for the same performance grant. Doesn't this kind of feel a little bit like a rehash of Deep Cuts, except without Laurie?
A little bit.
Yeah, like if they wanted to do a Luna and Luan episode, the laughing melody exists, guys. There you go, use it.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be better if they were like kind of getting along. I don't know.
Well, I don't mind the fact that there's a conflict, because that is one like the main things of the show, the siblings getting into conflicts with each other. But it's like, it just feels like a rehash of something we've already done before. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, yeah. Are we all just going to admit that I come up with the better ideas at this point? You know? Like, you'd love to see the laughing melody, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah, that was a really good story, actually.
Yeah.
I think it would be work really well, like, as an episode.
Yeah.
So.
And same with, what was the other one I did in a spec script form? Souls of Art. Which, of course...
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Because Luna still doesn't have an extra interest outside of rock music after 9 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
See what I mean? Like, the actual potential of this show is still only just like, the surface has only just been scratched after all this time. There's still so much more it could do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. They could have really... It's just kind of a shame, because, you know, there's so... Like, they could go to such a massive, like... Oh yeah, and actually, having just looked at some other things about season 9, I'm literally on the Wikia page now as we're doing this conversation. And I also noticed, once again, Lincoln and Clyde have had voice actors changed. So I think Sawyer Cole and Jaden White have left, and by season 10 they're replaced by Nick Fisher and Giuliano Valdi. And I'm like, at this point, just get 2 girls to voice them. You know, they're effeminate characters anyway. You know, just get females to voice them, and you don't have to change them every season, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're not... I don't know. Then again, Gumball kind of did the same going back to that. They always changed Gumball's voice actor after every season. It was weird. Just get a fucking girl to play him, you know?
Yeah, they could do that. It would just be a lot easier.
Yeah, but also apparently Pat Pakula has left as a director as of season 9. He left the show in July 2024, apparently, and was succeeded by... Remember when Colton Davis announced on Instagram that he was like becoming a director? Apparently he's replacing Pat Pakula, who was very good on the show actually as a director. So it's like you can see people are leaving. Pat Pakula's left. Kyle Marshall's left to do his own thing. Some of the older like staff have gone on to do, you know, things like Primos and all that. You know, it's just, it does feel like everyone's just like, yeah, we're just jumping ship, we're just leaving, we're just going to let it sort of slowly die. And I hate saying that, but it does feel like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I do wish things would have turned out differently, you know. After I've followed this show for years, and I thought about like what could it have done versus what it has done. And look, don't get me wrong, the show as it stands has been a pretty moderately successful series. It's had many great episodes, and it has like overcome a lot of obstacles in its time. Because to say this show has not had much luck is putting it mildly. Nickelodeon hasn't cared. Chris Savino turned out to be a dick. A lot of its fandom left something to be desired. Haters constantly bash on what's left of its reputation for their own profit on YouTube. You know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, people don't really seem to know what to do with it, like in terms of like what ideas to come up with and all that. And I'm just thinking, considering all those things, I do give it credit for still being overall successful. But at the same time, I'm thinking, this franchise could do so much more. Which is why I'm like, you know what? This might be a sign that after season 10, things are coming to an end. Like, let's not forget, seasons 8 and 9 and probably 10 are all much shorter. They've all been like half the length of the older seasons.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Like, season 9 was almost certainly a second part. It was supposed to be the second half of season 8, I'm convinced. And I'll tell you why I know that. Because remember, I've pointed this out before. Remember the voice actor Brett Bassinger? Popular actress who's done like tons of stuff. And she plays Lynn's friend, Margot Roberts. And I have pointed this out before, that Brett Bassinger's always been on a once-a-season deal.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
And obviously she didn't start on the work voicing the character until season 3 with Here Today Gone Tomorrow. But after that, because I think it was Lisa's voice actor, Lara Jill Miller, who voiced her in that cameo in season 2, and obviously she wasn't in season 1; she didn't appear back then. But from season 3 onwards, Lynn's friend Margot has had a voice actor with a once-a-season deal. So obviously there was Here Today Gone Tomorrow for season 3. There was Singled Out from season 4. There was Hurl Interrupted from season 5. Cheer Pressure from season 6. Sponsor Trip from season 7. And then in season 8 she didn't really have a role. Like, she didn't speak in any episodes. I don't even think she appeared in any episodes of season 8. But then at the very beginning of season 9, in the episode that Hendrik shows up, she has a speaking role again.
Oh yeah.
And then
That makes sense.
yeah, so it's almost like, yeah, that would have been, and it was like the second episode of season 9, so it almost certainly was originally supposed to be part of season 8. You know what I mean? So that would have been Brett Bassinger's contractual obligation for the season, but then it was stretched out to season 9 instead. And that's another thing, like, politics really gets in the way of this show as well, you know what I mean? Like, there's always been political issues plaguing it. Like, certain voice actors having these weird, like, once-a-season deals, which is kind of a shame because it stops a perfectly good character like Margot from getting more screen time and development because her voice actor can only be so available. I think the same issue existed with Maria Santiago. Similarly, Montano in the Casa Grandes, like, she didn't appear that often because apparently the voice actor couldn't be available.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And then you have other voice actors. I'm guessing they have a very opposite deal with John DiMaggio because they overuse him as Flip so often. And I'm almost sort of thinking, like, other than Grey Griffin, John DiMaggio is like easily the highest status voice actor who works on this franchise. And I imagine he probably costs more than the other voice actors. So to make the best use out of him, they use him so often. Like, in the whatever contract they've got with him, I'm almost certain that, like, they have to use him as much as possible to get the best value for money out of the guy. Which is why we see so much goddamn Flip all the time.
Oh yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
actually.
dude. I mean, like, this all just makes sense when you actually look into it, look into the inner logistics of how the show is run behind the scenes. I do have a little bit of an idea because obviously I've befriended people who work on the comics who have relationships with certain people who work on the show, like Amanda, like Gilbert, like Ruhisu, so on. Well, Gilbert doesn't work on the comics, but I know he does have, like, relationships with a couple of people who work on the show, like, again, Christina Pucelli. She interacts with the fans quite a lot compared to other people. Yeah. So it's like, and obviously I've seen like episode scripts and stuff be leaked before, so I do have a bit of an idea as to what might be going on behind the scenes. But I think it's safe to say it's been absolute chaos for quite some time, and this unorderly releasing of episodes is probably like what we're now seeing as a result of that. Yeah. It just feels like, I don't know. It's like I just want to reach over to them and say, "Hey, Nickelodeon staff, everyone, get your fucking shit together."
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this
Yeah,
guy.
I do wonder, like, are they maybe like trying to replace it with Wild Pack, which is obviously like the newer, fresher show now that everyone's talking about, which is not the same, but I suppose you could say a bit similar. Maybe they're
I
trying to
don't know.
do
That's a
that.
good theory. Maybe.
Like, yeah, they're trying to replace it with a show that has less baggage. Because let's face it, the Loud House has a lot of baggage. A lot of people that have criticised it over the years. A lot of infamous episodes. A lot of people hating on it left, right, and centre. The show, the reputation of the show, you know, is like a porn star's rear end. It's in tatters.
Yeah, it's actually like so sad to think about because it's such a good show, but it just has so much going against it. I feel
It
like.
always has. And that is why I want a reboot. And I don't just
Yeah.
want any reboot, because most reboots suck. Because most people, like with Powerpuff Girls 2016, they bring it back just for money. They clearly had no idea what to do with it. I think anyone can see that. For every DuckTales reboot, which actually had a great idea behind it, was successful and loved, you have about 4 or 5 reboots that are just there purely for the money. They don't really justify their existence. They just bring down the legacy of the entire franchise they're based on. And it's like that's the last thing the Loud House needs. The Loud House has so much potential to be a beloved, phenomenon of modern pop culture, but at the moment it's just everyone just hates the damn thing. Like, have you ever been on the cartoons subreddit? They have a raging hate boner for the Loud House on there. You ever mention it, and all they ever do is just bash on how much it sucks and how much the fans suck. And it's like, look, a lot of the fans do suck, to be fair, but there are actually a lot of good fans as well that I've interacted with, and I don't think it's fair to group them all within that same bracket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like especially on Twitter too. Like, have you ever seen the hate on Twitter? It's insane. I don't know why, but it's like
This is why, like,
it's really bad.
people have a go at me for wanting to have a reboot, but I'm like, can you blame me? I wanted to be part of, like, something great, where the show was loved and the fandom was healthy and it didn't have haters left, right, and centre. And, it was producing great, brilliant episodes after another based on ideas that we all wanted to see. Not just execution, not just idea, both. You want great idea and execution. Some people always frame it as you should pick one over the other. No, let's have both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
But
get that.
people just aren't thinking about this show in the right way. They never have. And that's why, have I not demonstrated that I'm basically the perfect guy to do it?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, if you're listening to this, help me get on the show, Go and put a word out. That they do exist on Instagram, all the staff. Go and put a word out and tell them that they need me.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, Alana, if I did get on the show, if I ever did do a reboot, maybe you could be hired. I know you want a new job.
Oh, that'd be so cool actually.
I don't know, you got any, like, experience with, like, I don't know, either writing or directing or anything like that? Well, you've done photography, so you could do, like, I don't know, could you do, like, directing or storyboarding or something like that?
Yeah, maybe.
How good are you at drawing?
Oh, mediocre.
Okay. You're better than me there.
Yeah, I'm not like that good, but
Yeah. Like, imagine, like, you've said for a long time you wanted a new job, so imagine if you could work on a reboot of The Loud House.
that would be freaking amazing actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there are quite a few people who are, like, aspiring writers within the fandom, so you never know, that could be a thing. Directing, I mean, there's a couple of people I know who could be solid directors, Just imagine, like, The Loud House Redux, or, I don't know, The Loud House Loud and Proud or something. I know there was a comic book named after that, but, that could be a good name for a reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's clear with this massive misordering of releasing new episodes that I think they are just trying to get rid of the show now. and it's like it's going to end on a whimper rather than a bang, which just kind of sucks, you know. But
Yeah.
it is one of those. I think that's what this means. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just looking too far into it or too negatively into it. So I'm going to let you guys in the comment section have your say on this. Do you think there's another reason, maybe, as to why season 10 is releasing before season 9, or why some parts of the show still aren't getting some older episodes when season 10 is now being released? And do you think there are issues going on behind the scenes? Do you think people have just had enough and are moving on? Even though there's still so much more the show could do, so much more you could do with this franchise. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I want you guys to talk about this in the comment section below. Let us know, honestly, what you think. I suppose while we're here, is there anything else you'd like to sort of touch on that maybe might have some relation to this matter, Alana?
No, not really.
Yeah, so I suppose that's the only thing. I suppose I will touch on like season 10 because the episode synopses have recently been released. Well, some of them. So obviously, I think by now most people have watched at least most of the summer camp arc. I myself have obviously seen Ticked Off. I've seen The Great Outdoors, and I think I've seen a little bit of Don't Lose Your Cool. I think there's still. I haven't seen Brawl. I think Treasure Hunt and Brawl the Wild have both came out. I don't think I've seen those yet though. But they have been released. The summer camp arc has been solid. I don't think it's as good as like some of like the road trip arc. I don't know, but it's been alright. I still think they could have done a bit more.
Yeah, I wish there was like 2 more episodes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do wish like for example with Ticked Off, doesn't it kind of feel like again they're rehashing ideas? Like Lincoln and a bunch of like dorky friends that he's got are being sort of antagonised like by bigger, sort of tougher, more athletic kids. We've seen that in the likes of, you know, The Loudest Yard, Tricked, the episode where they're competing against the Stankos. What was it called? And then even more recently, you had No Bus No Fuss. You know, you've had episodes like where they're being antagonised or picked on by like tougher kids, and it's also like Lynn Jr. was there. Couldn't she have just beat up those kids and like just said, Lincoln, you won't be bothered by him anymore? That would be funny.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea.
But they won't. They don't do that because the show doesn't know how to use Lynn Jr. properly half the time. You know. But there you go.
That's weird.
But then you've got Spy Dames, which could be quite interesting. During Grandparents' Day at Lincoln's school, he and Myrtle face off with a spy nemesis from Myrtle's past. Now, depending on where they go with that, that could be interesting to see an older enemy of Myrtle, like building a bit more on her old double life as a spy. We'll probably get an old woman fight in the episode, which is kind of funny to think about.
Oh my god, yeah. So
but if they actually do go into like a sort of little spy mini adventure, this time if you have the Louds, have them get more action because they barely got any in the movie.
Yeah, that would be nice to see.
Yeah, like have Lynn like take out like 100 henchmen or something. That would be hilarious. Or beat up like Ham Hand or something. That would be funny. And then you've got Cupid's Harrow, which could be interesting. Lenny goes on Miguel's podcast and they cause trouble for Laurie and Bobby. And I suppose I will sort of touch on this while we're here. Along with Laurie's character just generally improving, wouldn't you say Laurie and Bobby's relationship has become a lot better over the years? Like, remember how toxic it was back in season 1 where, like, Laurie was completely obsessed with Bobby and, like, every waking moment, every waking thought was, I've got to get on the phone and talk to Bobby or go and see Bobby, and it's like, he's my whole world. And, like, she's willing to throw her siblings under the bus just to be with him. And it's like, now, it's a more realistic relationship. Like, they can fall out, they can have arguments, but they still love each other. But it's not like a weird, over-the-top obsession. It's natural, like, affection for each other. And, like, it's a much better relationship now compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, I feel like it got better like after Bobby and Ronnie Ann like moved away. I feel like
Yeah.
after that, it kind of got like healthier in a way. I don't
And
know.
also Laurie's character just generally got better around the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that probably helps because well, to be honest, it wasn't so much Bobby. Like, yeah, it was mainly Laurie back in season 1 with her first season personality, with all the bitches that came with it. Like, let's not forget that Laurie in season 1 threw furniture at Lincoln after he said some bad things about
Oh
Ronnie Ann and
no.
forced him on a date. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of a shame because obviously Ronnie Ann was the focus of the spin-off, and Lincoln and Ronnie Ann's friendship has evolved into something really nice and wholesome over time. But you've got to remember how that started. Lincoln was picked on by Ronnie Ann, who apparently also had a crush on him that kind of went away. And when he said some bad things about her, which he didn't intend for her to hear, and in fairness weren't completely unprovoked because he was being picked on it at the time. And then Laurie finds out, and just because it turns out Bobby and Ronnie Ann are related, she basically forces Lincoln violently to apologise to her and get along. And it's like, when you look at Save the Date, hasn't that episode just aged so terribly? Like,
Yeah.
everyone loved
Pretty
it back in
bad.
2016, back when like the show was starting up and everyone was going on about all the hype of Lincoln and Ronnie Ann. And all these years later, when that hype's gone, you look back at the episode itself and you're like, this is terrible.
It is. It is. It's so hard to watch now. Like, I don't know.
It was a fan
It's like if the
favourite at the
characters
time.
have
Like, you've
gotten
got to
so much
remember, like,
better.
for years, everyone talks about it like it was one of the best episodes ever. And I'm like, I'm looking back and I'm thinking, wow, this sucks.
Yeah, it's because like every character that was in that episode has improved so much over time. So then when you look back on it, it's like, oh gosh, this is
Yeah.
bad.
You can tell, like, people want Chris Savino to come back. Really? Do you guys think Chris Savino knew what he was doing? Because let me tell you now, Chris Savino's, what was he known for before the Loud House? Driving Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab into the ground. And you guys want him to return? I don't think so. You know?
No, absolutely not.
No. Chris Savino is not, even if we like, I mean, I can't speak on the stuff that he did. Like, it sounds pretty awful, like, what he did. Like, he sounds like a bit of a predator, to be honest. Now, whether or not that was exaggerated or not, I don't know. I don't personally know the guy. I never met him. Don't know the exact intricate details of what he got up to and how bad the stuff he did that was related to the Savino scandal. Now, Amanda, who we know works on the comics and has a relationship, a working sort of bond with some people who work on the show, she apparently has, like, either spoke to him or something. She has interacted with him in the past. And she will often sometimes say that he has sort of, like, become a better person since then. And I don't know, that could be true. But even if we assume, like, maybe Chris Savino has learned from his mistakes and become a better person, which is possible, and, I don't think it's fair to say people can never redeem themselves. At the same time, even if that's true, I still wouldn't bring him back, purely
Yeah,
because
no.
he's not competent.
No.
He's not competent. He can't do his job. He's not a good writer. He's not a good director. He doesn't understand, like, how to write good characters or anything. Yes, he's the one who came up with the initial idea. Beyond that, he's useless.
Yeah, no. The show's doing like perfectly fine right now, so I don't think
Well, it's doing
really,
fine.
yeah.
Saying that, I would like it to improve drastically still.
Yeah, but I don't
believe
think bringing back Chris would
no.
make any
Oh no,
difference.
bringing back Chris would not help at all. It'll make it worse.
No.
Like, people think, oh yeah, bring back Chris Savino. Look, I get it. I don't think creatively the show is, like, as good as it could be right now. Like, I think the execution of episodes is generally very good, but I don't think the ideas are always that good. You know what I mean? Like, they could become with far more interesting things. I will agree with that criticism. In fact, I'm the one who makes it most of the time. But I don't think the solution is bringing back the show's original creator, because yes, maybe he would focus more back on the main cast, which a lot of people want, but would he do a good job with it? Would he write them very well? Would he have the best ideas for them? Really? No. You get more Brawl in the Families. You'll get more No Such Looks again. Do you really want that?
Yeah, that would just not work out.
Yeah. Like with Chris Savino, I do sort of have this theory that he might be a misogynist. Like the way that he wrote the Ten Sisters, how toxic he could write them sometimes. I think Chris Savino
Yeah, that
hates
was
his
really
sisters
bad.
in the show. You know what I mean? Like in the real life, he hates his real sisters, and he probably hates women in general
Yeah, that would not surprise me, honestly.
because of
But
like based on the behavior he had. This sounds logical, doesn't it? Like I actually think that's why he did what he did. He was probably like mistreated by his real life sisters so much as a kid. Now he has like a grudge against. He hates women. It wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys who are listening to this, no, bringing back Chris Savino would not be the solution. Yes, there are improvements to be made to the show. Yes, I agree that it doesn't always focus on the things that are most interesting. Yes, it could do with some help creatively, but Savino is not the source to get it from.
No.
No. So yeah, that's a little Chris Savino rant over. But yeah, and then obviously, yeah, just going through the other episodes of season 10 briefly. Yeah, we have the Lenny podcast one, we have the Myrtle one, we have the Clyde episode. Clyde can't decide. Now, some people are getting a bit excited about this because we could finally see Clyde's therapist, Dr. Lopez, appear for the first time. Although, has Dr. Lopez even been like mentioned in years? I don't really remember Dr. Lopez being mentioned in a long time. But
Me either.
aside from
Dude,
that possibility, that synopsis doesn't sound very like this is what I'm saying. Like creatively, the show could do with like some enhancement. I don't think this episode sounds particularly interesting. It's like Lincoln and Clyde have never been the most interesting duo. You know what I mean? Like on their own.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't
agree.
know. I don't know what to expect from this episode, but it doesn't sound particularly interesting to me. One that
Yeah,
does
it's just
sound
the least interesting
yeah.
out of all of them so far, but
Yeah, and one of them that does sound a bit more interesting is probably Shred of Evidence. One, because you've got Lola and Lindsay Sweetwater getting another big role again after so long. But
Yeah.
also, it's called the Little Miss Big Belch pageant, which is just kind of a funny name.
yeah.
It's
Sounds
like,
interesting.
remember that season 1, Lola is apparently the family's best purpose, so she's got a legit chance of winning that.
Yeah.
Although, by the sounds of it, it's not even about like the pageant competition itself. They find that their gowns have been shredded, so that it's some sort of like mystery episode. It'll probably play out in a similar way to what was it? The episode where Luann's a detective. What was it called now? An inspector's. Oh, what was it called? You know which one I mean.
Oh, and Inspector Falls.
That's it. Yeah, the one with Luann and Amy. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That one was really good, actually. Like, that had a really good mystery that I didn't even, like, expect at all.
Yeah. And then after that, if you remember, I brought Amy back in a much bigger, even bigger role in House of Fun, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
And that had a sort of mystery that you didn't see coming, didn't it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I actually based that on the first 2 Saw movies, if you've ever seen them.
Oh, I haven't seen the Saw movies, but...
No, but I did sort of base House of Fun as like a light-hearted prank version of that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's a thing. But yeah, so I don't know, like season 10 could... Like, there are some episodes in there that sound a bit interesting, but I will admit they could still come up with some better ideas, but hey. You know, but personally I think the show should end after season 10 because it's clear the cracks are starting to show now, and you know it's clear that as good as the show has been, this run is not going to reach the potential it could have. So I think you should probably end it soon, give it a few years, and then bring it back. But it must be brought back with the right vision in mind. Don't just bring it back purely for the money, which is why it should be me.
Yeah, it should be, like, someone who knows the show, like, really well. And not, like, just, like, some people who are just, like, in it for the money or whatever. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so like I said a few minutes ago, everyone, if you've got any like other speculations or any actual inside understanding of why this whole thing's going on. Let us know in the comment section below. Why do you think season 10 is releasing before most of season 9, or for some people I think even season 8? Do you think we're looking too far into this, we're looking too deep into it, or is there actually something going on here? Are the cracks for the show's eventual conclusion starting to appear now? Let us know your thoughts, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.